How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about whether you should be getting the Canon EOS RP or for another extra $1,000 be getting the Canon EOS R. Let's hop into it. So right off the bat, the better camera is obviously the EOS R. But that doesn't mean it's better for you. Sure, the Canon EOS R has obviously more pro features, but that doesn't necessarily mean these pro features are things that you may need. And by getting the Canon EOS RP, by saving that extra $1,000, you could be investing in other lenses or microphones or other ways to boost that camera. So I'm not going to get too technical with it, but let's go over each camera and see what it can do and see what's worth your investment. Now, starting with the RP, it's obviously a full frame camera, which is great because it's relatively inexpensive. And it got a lot of hate when it first came out because it didn't have 24 frames per second in 1080p. I believe it only had it in 4K, but now there's a firmware update that adds the 24 frames per second to the RP, which makes the camera a whole lot more desirable because without that 24p, you lose a lot of that cinematic look. So the RP uses the same type of lenses as the Canon EOS R, the new RF mounts, and they are actually really incredible lenses. Yes, they are expensive, but they are worth every penny. They are incredible. Even the kit lens that comes with both of them, the RF 24 to 105, creates an amazing image. So I think it's really worth it. The Canon RP does shoot 4K, but keep in mind it does lose that dual pixel autofocus, so you're gonna probably wanna switch it to manual focus if you're shooting in 4K. Now the battery in the RP is actually quite a small battery. I believe it's the same battery that's in the Canon M50 actually. So it's a pretty small battery, and with the RP being a mirrorless full frame camera, it's gonna probably take up a little bit more battery than, something like the Canon M50. With that being said, you can always buy multiple batteries, so if you're out on a long shoot, you can just slap in another battery when that one dies, and so on. Okay, now let's move on to the Canon EOS R. So the Canon EOS R is obviously a full frame mirrorless camera, and it does come with 24 frames per second installed in it already, so you don't have to worry about going into anywhere to get a firmware update. It's already in the body. It has 24 frames per second in 1080p and 4K as well. And the 4K in this camera actually does have dual pixel autofocus, so you don't have to worry about switching it to manual focus. You still have the option to if you want, but it makes life a lot easier. Now, one of the bigger issues with 4K is obviously the crop factor. I believe it crops in at either 1.6 or 1.7. So I know that's a big deal for a lot of people that want to shoot in 4K. Personally, it doesn't bother me. You can just slap on a wider angle lens, and it's pretty much solves the problem. And I also forgot to mention that the 4K does shoot in 30 frames per second as well on this camera. Now there is actually a firmware update available for the Canon EOS R. I believe it has something to do with the eye detection, the eye autofocus. It improves it. Personally, I haven't seen any problems with the autofocus, but maybe I'll do a video of a before and after when I do update this camera. Now the Canon EOS R offers C-Log, which is great for everybody who likes to really get into the nitty-gritty of color correction and color grading your footage, which that's something I'm into. So that's something that I love about this camera that I'm actually on right now. I'm actually shooting in C-Log. This is what it looks like when I have the color correction off. So yeah, so it kind of creates that grayish flat image look. Now this camera, just like the RP, has the RF mount, so you have access to all the RF lenses that are expensive but great. And with the Canon EOS R, the memory card actually goes in the side of the camera, just like a DSLR, where the Canon RP actually, like the M50, the memory card goes right next to the battery, so that can be a bit of a downer. I like having the memory card in a different spot than the battery. Speaking of battery, the Canon EOS R battery is obviously bigger than the RP battery, so therefore you're gonna have longer battery life. I believe it's like the same battery as like that's in the Canon 5D Mark IV and those kind of DSLRs. So which one of these cameras out of the two are better for you? I'm gonna just say it right off the bat. If you're just straight into just vlogging and casual filmmaking, you're probably gonna want to go with the RP. If you're not super into the professional features that the R has, then go with the RP, save yourself some money, and invest in other tech for that camera, whether it be tripod or other lenses, or save the money for something else. It doesn't have to be camera gear. And we got to remember, pretty much every camera nowadays is a really good camera. So you're going to be able to get a high quality cinematic image from just about any camera. I mean, you can get it even from this Canon M50, a terrific image, and it's a whole lot cheaper than a Canon EOS R or even the RP. But we're not talking about the M50 right now. We'll save that for a future video. So if having dual pixel autofocus with the 4K isn't a big deal with you, I would really highly recommend the RP. And as well as if shooting in C-Log isn't important to you either, save that money and just get the RP. And like I said before, if you do get the RP, I recommend picking up a couple other batteries. So if you're out all day and you need a long battery life, you're not gonna be out on a shoot and run out of battery and be lost. All right. Now let's talk about why you should get the Canon EOS R. Yes, this thing is almost $1,000 more, but for me personally, it's worth it. I see this camera as a little bit more future-proof just because you can shoot in C-Log and it has that dual pixel autofocus in 4K. Because for me, I aspire to be a really good filmmaker, or that's a passion of mine. I would like to take it to a professional level. So something like the Canon EOS R is perfect for me. And I really enjoy shooting in C-Log and practicing my color correction and everything, really fine-tuning my eyes to what colors look proper. And if you're into color correcting and you want to get into more of a professional level with it, I highly recommend this camera because C-Log is just so amazing to work with, and it's actually not too hard to learn to color correct with it. It just takes practice, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get. And the Canon EOS R just has a better build quality to it. Personally, I felt the RP in my hand, and I felt the EOS R, and the EOS R just felt really, really nice to hold. But that's just personal preference. So I guess it really just comes down to if you're going to be shooting a little bit more professional, or if you're going to be trying to do more of a casual work. Not that you can't be a professional shooting with the RP. I just believe, there's more professional features in the Canon EOS R. So if you're looking for those more professional features, and if color correcting and 4K dual pixel autofocus is a big deal for you, then I would highly recommend investing in the EOS R. It's an amazing camera, and a lot of people have shooting really amazing films with this camera. But even that being said, the Canon RP is amazing as well. The quality of the image is outstanding, and if it's something that you're doing, like going out and vlogging or going out doing casual videos of the family or just travel vlogs or whatever, then do that. Get the RP because it's going to save you a lot of money, like I said. And being able to save that much money, like I said before, is a lot of money that you can use towards lenses and things to upgrade that camera. So therefore, in certain ways, the RP is allowing you to save money and to invest into better lenses. And overall, a lot of the times lenses and lights are what makes a quality of an image look better than just simply having a better camera with better professional features. So to wrap it up nice and short, if you're an aspiring filmmaker, I recommend the EOS R. If you're just a casual shooter, casual vlogger, then I highly recommend the RP. So hopefully that gives you better insight into which camera to invest in. Personally, the EOS R has my heart, and I'm so happy that I invested in it. I love it, and it's a tremendous upgrade for me. However, I did contemplate getting the RP and saving that money to invest in better lenses, but I realized I really wanted the Canon EOS R because of the C-Log and the 4K dual pixel autofocus. So that's what won me over with this camera, and personally I felt it was a little bit more future-proof, and I didn't mind waiting to invest in other lenses. I was happy with the RF 24-105 because it does create an awesome image. I mean, as you see, that's what I'm shooting on now. So let me know down in the comments what you think about this image and what camera you think you're gonna get and which one suits your needs better. I would love to know. I'm super active on the comments, so I'd love to talk about it. Also, let me know if you'd like to see a video comparison between the Canon EOS M50 and the Canon EOS R, because yes, there is a huge price difference, but even this little baby could be more suitable for you rather than the EOS R, and you'd be saving a heap load of money. Heaps load of money? These Australian terms are getting to me. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button if this did help you, and comment down below and let me know if you're going to decide on the Canon EOS R or the RP, or maybe a completely different camera. Maybe you realize you don't want either of these cameras. I'd be interested to know what kind of camera you have or you may plan on getting. So Thank you so much again for watching, and tune into the next video because it's going to be awesome. Thanks, guys. Peace. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, that was cold. Ugh. Ugh. Cold coffee.